Today, we gain wisdom from mother, father, mentor, Sabrina Golden, owner of Sabrina Golden LLC. Listen to our dialogue about purpose, pain, pleasure, and parenting. And now, making peace from the pieces.
That is true. I never really thought of acting that in a way it can be an escape. Just for that moment, you're not Sabrina Golden. You are whoever that character is. And I don't curse in real life, but for the next 30 minutes, where's that script at?
Right?
And the director's like,
funny because even like I sound so funny. They laugh at me when I do have a cursing part. They were like, "Really? Yeah, we should have took that part out for you."
Let's take that over again. I had a situation. This was with one of my daughters, where they had a cell phone and they had accidentally butt called me. And so, as any good parent, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this for her." So she accidentally called me on her phone, and so I listened. And then after about 3 minutes, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hang up. This is just girls just talking about just randomness." And right before I hung up, somebody bumped into her at school, and she said, "Watch where you going, blank blank." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." So I called her back, and I said, "Hey, I heard you on the phone." And she was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble, aren't I?" And so I said, "Yeah." So what was funny is I called my wife and I said, "Hey, babe, we got some serious issues going on with our kids." And she's like, "Well, what's going on?" And I said, "Well, our daughter cursed and she didn't even say it right." like she pronounced all the consonants, and it was just like, it was terrible. I was like, I didn't even believe it.
That is me. That is me.
I said, we gotta listen to some Richard or some Red Fox tonight. Let her figure this thing out so she can be believable next time.
Just it's not good.
No, but at the same token, it's good to have those moments of escape. Now, speaking of moments of escape, you have 3 children. Ho, ho, ho. And I am sure that at some moment you needed some moments of escape. What is? Let's close this thing out talking about motherhood, parenthood, some lessons you've learned, some experiences you've had. How old are your children?
22. On Saturday, my oldest daughter will be 20, and then I have a 13-year-old.
So you are experiencing some of what I'm experiencing too.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, see, I have a 23-year-old, a 20-year-old who will be 21 in December, a 17-year-old, an 11-year-old, and today I have a 10-year-old. Her birthday is today.
Wow.
So, and we have all girls, by the way. So it's the whole gamut. Now, one of the things that I'm sure you're enjoying now is the joy of having an adult child or 2 adult children, and then one that is still a teenager. Which group is more difficult to handle?
The difficult one was my baby girl. She's calmed down a lot though. But when she was younger, she used to make me pull my hair out. I was just like, why, Lord, why? Like, what is going on? What did I do? But now she's the sweetest, and she makes me laugh. She's a bundle of joy. Like, literally, like, she cooks. So now that I'm older and got my divorce, so I don't cook as much, so she helps me cook. So
well, what I was getting at with that, let me ask you this, because I wasn't getting at the specific child, but one of the joys that one of the things that I'm learning how to appreciate now is paying the $20 choir fee or the $150 for the trip, because now with these older kids, it's like, hey, my car is broken, I need $500. like right? you need $500. Like, oh Jesus, like, hold on. Where's that 13-year-old that just wanted $5 to go to the store? Now you want 200 to go to Galveston?
Actually, my kids don't ask me for nothing. They just like, we're not bothering mom. We're gonna let her live and be happy. So they don't really ask me for nothing. They might ask for a big birthday gift though. But other than that, I really have blessed great kids because they don't bother me. I do have to repeat myself when I say clean this up, but other than that, they don't give me trouble.
But that's parenting in itself, because one of the crazy things is it's such a challenge to see a woman carry a child for those 9 months or 10 months, I guess officially it would be. But at the same token, that's almost the easy part. Once you actually see them here and see all of what it takes to actually raise a child, which is far more difficult than just remembering to drink enough water to get enough rest. So, how would you describe motherhood yourself? How would you describe it?
It's a wonderful thing. I've seen my friend who she's like, I'm not having no kids I'll be no kids for the rest of my life, and she had a kid, and she's just like, Sabrina, I never knew motherhood was like this. Like, it's a lot of work, but
it's a joy.
I love my son, and that's how it is. It's like, you have your kid, you love him, you want the best for him, so you're going to do everything you can to make it right and make sure they have a good life. And that's how motherhood should be, loving your kids and making sure they walk down the right path. And, you have to be a good leader for that, and make sure you're sowing into them the good and positive things. Make sure you tell them the positive affirmations and tell them that you love them, and of course tell them when they're wrong, and make sure they have God in their life.
Yeah. Now, I thought you were going to say something similar to that, because I think what's interesting is motherhood is modeling, in the sense that if you think people are looking at you when you're on that catwalk, if you think all eyes are on you, when you're a mom, all eyes are on you. You are literally modeling at all times. How has that responsibility been for you?
So I've always kind of been like a goody two shoe type person. So it wasn't very hard. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but I always tried to make sure my name was good. So I always try to walk a good path. So it wasn't super hard. Although some days, you do want to act out, and more than a couple days, but like more than to a point, want to act out and be like, and they seen it, but that's life. They need to see you angry. They need to see you fight. They need to see all that, so they know how to handle life. And so don't hide everything that's bad. They need to see it.
Yeah, I thank God that you said that, because I tell my kids all the time, because I'm telling them from my own life, there are times when you get tired of being good. Or you just like, you know what? Yeah, I think I want to do something crazy. But at the same token, part of what you thank God for is the relationship you have with God, but also the relationship you have with your kids and your friends, because sometimes that's the only thing that holds you accountable and keeps you from walking way out there. So it's the responsibility, but it's also the accountability that also can be such a blessing to you. Now, we got about 7 minutes here. So tell us more about what you do as a professional. I mean, you shared your life with us, giving us all these different lessons and examples. But what is a day in the life of Sabrina Golden like, as far as in the professional one?
Okay, so I work a regular 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job. And then I also have my entrepreneurship job where I do makeup and I also do modeling coaching. Um, what else do I do? The Golden Opportunities, which is going to start back up in September. Um, gosh. Then I have the co-hosting with the talk show that starts back up in September. So those keep me busy during the weekend, basically. And then also I find time to, since I am single, I have to find time to spend time with friends and go out, try to meet people. But I think going out is not just going out; it's also networking because you meet a lot of different people who go out, and I've met a lot of people that I've used for my shows, and so it's just not going out just to go out. Sometimes I meet a lot of entrepreneurs that I can highlight on my show as well.
Now, we didn't really talk about depression, and I know that's a deep chasm. But at the same token, one of the things that we've had this discussion many times on the podcast because it's quite common. But at the same token, what is changing is the narrative. And when you and I were kids, and I'm older than you, of course, but the narrative that we had was that therapy was bad. Oh, you're going to go see some shrink. You're going to sit on some counselor. All you need is Jesus. And yes, we do need Jesus. Yes, we do need Jesus. But at the same token, that couch ain't too bad. And my wife, I did therapy first when I was in Virginia. My wife said, hey, we need to do this as a family. And so we did a family therapy with all seven of us. And then all did individual sessions. Are you a believer in therapy as well, or how do you look at that?
Absolutely. A lot of things that I've gone through, if I wasn't able to talk about it and get that release, I think I would probably be still in depression. Because you need that person to kind of listen and hear you out, whether and they help you a lot, expressing and like trying to think of why you're feeling this way. They can tell you a lot of things. Sometimes you don't realize it, and you need to express your deep thoughts that you have.
One of the things that I look at with this, and therapists are not God. Believe me, they are not God. But at the same token, there's a reason that God makes us confess our sins to him. God knows everything. So he really don't need you to confess the sin because he already knows the sin. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. He knows the sin before you even do the sin because he knows everything. But at the same token, he says, you still need to confess this because there's a part of you acknowledging and saying, hey, I know that I have done wrong. But then there's a part of forgiveness that takes place from God. And then there's a part of forgiveness that has to take place within yourself. And so all of these confessions and this communication play a role in it. And then even I believe it's Galatians where he says, look, we should confess our sins one to another. And that's not a therapy situation, but it's still saying that there's some value in vocalizing and confessing and speaking, not just sin, but your hurts, the animosity that you have, the fears that you have, because when you release those things, it allows you to place those in the right hands. And of course, I believe that those hands are God's hands.
Next week, making peace from the pieces with Sabrina Golden.